I don't have a retirement plan. I don't know if anyone else does, but I don't.
One-on-one in London with a rock and roll legend.
I've got a lot more songs to write and a lot more shows to do.
Talking fashion.
The jackets have been fire.
Thank you.
The jackets have been fire.
Sometimes you can be really loud, but you don't be loud all the time, you know.
Famous friends.
Nashville, give it up for Mick Jagger!
I've done like 3 duets with her.
Yeah.
I think.
And foreign tongues.
There's a vibe.
Yeah, there's definitely a vibe.
This is E-Talk in conversation with Mick Jagger.
Do I look nervous? I'm about to interview Mick Jagger in London. Couldn't ask for a better setting. Plus, after listening to the album, I would say arguably at 82, he might have more energy now than ever before. Maybe the real Mick Jagger question, the real rock star question is rock and roll forever? All right, well, Mick, I have to start by saying it's an honor to sit with you.
Thank you.
Rock and roll royalty.
Wow, thanks for coming. You came all the way from Canada.
All the way from.
The Rolling Stones remain one of the longest running, most influential, highest grossing live bands in rock history. And the music doesn't stop.
6 decades worth of music, 25th studio
Something
album.
like that.
After listening to the album, arguably more energy now than ever before.
Yeah.
So is there a retirement plan or is rock and roll forever?
Well, I mean, I feel like I've got a lot more songs to write and a lot more shows to do. That's what I think, you know. And so I'm happy to, you know, I don't have a retirement plan. I don't know if anyone else does, but I don't.
These icons are booked and busy thanks to their latest album, Foreign Tongues.
I think this album, the thing about it, it does sound quite vibrant. You know, when you put stuff on and play it to someone, you know, they say, can you play me a couple of tracks? So, so it does sound very lively, and it doesn't sound like you're kind of playing by the numbers or anything like that.
Let's talk about the lead single, In the Stars.
Yeah.
It is so catchy.
Thank you.
From the first time we listened to it, it's just been in our heads. What or who is the inspiration behind that and made that the lead single?
Well, you know, it sounds very much like the Rolling Stones, though it's got a pop chorus. So I thought that would make a good first single, because it's very much recognizable. And what does Shakespeare say? It's not in the stars, but it's in ourselves. The future is not in the stars, but in ourselves. I think that's a Shakespeare quote. Which is the opposite to what I'm saying. But no, it's just a good metaphor for, you know, what's meant to be in destiny and all that stuff.
Right.
Destiny was truly in the stars for this band, who went back to where it all began to record all new music.
We're here in London. I feel like you've recorded so much music here, so it's the perfect setting.
Yeah.
I wanted to start by asking you if London has been an inspiration to you and the band over the years.
Yeah, it has to be.
Right.
You know, because even though we're very kind of American music based, and most of our music is inspired by black music, you know, and we owe a huge debt to black music of all kinds. We also owe a debt to country music as well, you know. That's a big part of our thing. But also we owe a debt to English music, because English music's kind of like the background of country music, part of it, English, Scottish and Irish music. We started off playing here, you know, started off playing in West London. We cut our teeth playing in these little clubs and things. And I still live near where I used to live as a student, you know, slightly bigger rooms. Obviously I have a big debt for London, I suppose. But I mean, we hadn't actually recorded an album in London for a long time. So went to the studio, which we worked to before. I'd done lots of overdubs in there. But we hadn't actually recorded any live stuff in there as a band, so we dug in there into Metropolis Studios, and we did 10 of the tracks on the album were cut there, and 4 were from previous sessions.
Are you allowed to have a favorite on the album?
Yeah, you're allowed to have a favorite. I mean, you're allowed. I mean, it's difficult for me to have a favorite because it depends on the mood you're in, you know, because there's so many different styles on the album and moods.
As someone who just freshly listened to it, there's a vibe.
Yeah, there's definitely a vibe.
Yeah.
And A lot of that's to do with the grooves, you know. For me, a lot of these songs, even the slow ones, it's all in a groove, you know. You have to pay a lot of attention. So when I'm doing songwriting, I mean, might have a chord sequence, I might have some lines, but I pay attention to what groove it's going to be. So it's all about the groove, and then I'm going to develop it. And then when I get down to working with Steve Jordan, I'm going to just sit with him and for a while and make sure that he understands what the grooves are and can we get these grooves better? Is that the right groove? Is that the right tempo though? Do you think should we go faster? Change the bass drum, try it. Oh no, that doesn't work.
Right.
You know, so it's to and fro, and you have to get the grooves right. And I think on this record, most of the grooves are really in the right pocket.
So when you're paying attention to all of those grooves, like it's fun watching you, recount this,
Yeah.
right? So you're thinking about the groove, you're thinking about the drums, you're thinking about, this goes better here. Do you put that sort of same care into who you collab with? Because there's some pretty cool collabs on this album as well.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they can be kind of interesting because they're not expected.
Foreign Tongues collaborators Paul McCartney, The Cure's Robert Smith, Steve Winwood, and Red Hot Chili Peppers' Chad Smith are clearly fans of the band. So is Leonardo DiCaprio, who is spotted at the album launch.
For that New York City release,
Yeah.
we saw Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Has he always been sort of a fan and friend of the band?
Yeah, I think he's been to a lot of shows. Last year I said, well, what music you listen to now? And he said, well, I'm listening to black vocal groups in the 30s. And I said, like my mother's music. like he was listening to like the Ink Spots, but before, there was groups before I'd never even heard of, and he was so into that. But I think he's through that now.
It's so funny how we all kind of circle back to our roots or what we heard when we were kids.
When we were kids. I think he likes like doo-wop and things like that as well as rock music, and I don't know what else he likes.
Obviously, he loves the Stones.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I played him the album. Like I played him half the album first because we were in LA because I was doing some touch-ups on the vocals.
Okay.
And he came over one day and so we played him a few tracks. But I don't think he's heard the whole thing yet.
Hey,
he was complaining to me the other day. I thought I played everything. He said, no, you only played me a bit. I said,
Another celebrity fan? Actress Odessa Azion.
Now, another person we noticed at that New York City release was Odessa. Now,
Yeah.
the lead person in any of your videos is always a big deal. So what was it that you loved about Odessa to give her this honor?
I think she just looks the part, you know, she's a very good dancer, and she's like got the vibe for that video. It just seemed to fit perfectly, and she's very nice. Yeah, I mean, I met her at the playback party we had way before, and I thought, well, she'd be really good for the video, and she really delivered. So I was pleased about that.
Yeah, no, she's great.
Yeah.
She's got a good vibe.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the Rolling Stones. This is bucket list.
Mick is always here for the vibes. And just like Odessa, he's got a distinct style all his own. Whether it's the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or the 2000s, Mick knows how to put together a look.
I was looking through some pictures of you over the years, and your style has always been distinct and fun and almost has its own messaging. How important is your presentation in terms of like what you choose to wear before you go on stage or before you show up to a red carpet?
Well, yeah, I think it's important, you know. I mean, you know, in the old days, you spend time going to clothes shops a lot, you know, which I still do, you know, see what's around, you know.
Can I imagine? Because even in this promo tour so far, the jackets have been fire.
Thank you.
The jackets have been fire.
We kind of like look at photos and what designers are doing, you know, what their new collections are, you know, and what is there a new person that we haven't worn, and I go to the shop just on my own just to see what's new. And obviously something suit you, something that's not really for you, you know. It's like too young, too straight, too whatever, too loud. And sometimes you can be really loud, but you don't be loud all the time. You're not.
Right.
Sometimes you want to be like cool, but not. You know.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand because that's the fun of
that's the fun of
getting
it. You know.
dressed up.
Sometimes you want to be loud and stuff like that. So I guess I do spend a lot of time on it.
Amazing. So I was thinking about this as I was preparing to come and sit with you. You've done 25 album rollouts.
Yeah.
Right? Is there now an advantage using social media? Because you guys are definitely super busy on social media. So when you think about all the album rollouts you've done over 6 decades, does it make it a touch easier having social media as a tool?
It gives you control of the rollout more.
Right.
Because in the old days, you know, dependent on someone else's media, you know, and what they said about you. I mean, to a certain point, you controlled it.
Right.
But, you know, in the early days, there was only 4 TV channels. There was
Right.
only 2 in England.
Right.
And there were major newspapers. There were a lot of music newspapers, and they could be quite critical. You know, if you put an album out and they didn't like it, they would tell you, you know,
Right.
but Blash, this is rubbish, you know, and you know, that's not quite the same as it used to be. But you still got to create the content. So when we were in the studio, we had cameras up all the time. We sort of forgot they were there. Sometimes we're going, turn it off, you know, this is not what I want. So you have to create a lot of content. You know, you have to think about that, you know, so that makes it a little bit more work for yourself. But I think it's, you know, it's interesting.
I think it would be cool once people hear this interview that Mick Jagger has to consider creating content.
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Well, of course, I think everyone does. I mean, every artist does.
Right.
Some are really obsessed, and you know, I'm not obsessed by it, but
Right.
you know, I
Found a healthy balance.
Yeah, you know, like a nice balance of it, especially with work. I mean, I don't do a lot of personal stuff really. I do some, you know, I do tourist stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really tend to feature my family. You know, I want some sort of privacy.
Yes.
But all in all, I think you have to keep a good balance with it.
All right, when we talk about foreign tongues, everybody that I spoke to prior to coming here was so excited. We've talked about London, we've talked about New York, but we have a mutual friend. That mutual friend is called Toronto. It's a city that loves you and remembers every time that you've come to our city and played.
From headlining legendary shows at the El Macombo and major benefit concerts like Sardstock to repeated world tour rehearsal stops, Toronto has long been a favorite home away from home for the Rolling Stones.
What's something about the city that you remember and you love?
It just has a kind of, even though it's freezing cold half the time,
Yeah,
it has
let's
a kind
keep
of
it real, yeah.
has a warm feeling.
I love that.
You know what I mean? It doesn't feel that you're an outsider. It's quite welcoming.
Yes.
That's what I think I like about it, and it's quite relatively easy to get to know. Whereas some cities are, you know, standoffish a little bit, and you find it hard to find your way. I don't know. I think Toronto. I mean, of course, I've been there quite a few times.
Right.
So that also helps a lot. I also like other cities in Canada. I mean, I always enjoy going to Montreal, I like Vancouver.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we went to Vancouver the first time in ages. We hadn't been there in ages to play.
Yeah.
Then there was a great audience. I really enjoyed that, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones!
Obviously, the entire country of Canada loves you and is excited. And with new music, often means at least new tour or at least a chance to see you live on stage. So Canada wants to know, when do we get to see our boy Mick?
as soon as we can get it together, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it might not be this year, but maybe next year, I think.
Few rock icons can command a stage quite like this frontman, especially when it comes to sharing it with the next generation of music idols.
You love being on stage.
Yes.
And it's a real treat for new generations to see you with like a Lady Gaga or a Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
How much is that a treat for you to share the stage and to see someone like a Taylor Swift loving your music?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I've done like 3 duets with her.
Yeah.
I think I did one at one of her shows in Nashville, that was kind of weird. We did Satisfaction. I said, Taylor, you sure you want to do Satisfaction? She don't sound like but she did it, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I enjoyed my duets with Taylor. I like doing duets because, you know, sometimes they work out great, sometimes they don't work out quite as good as you hope, you know. But I enjoy doing those duets a lot.
Nashville, give it up for Mick Jagger!
Another love of Mick's, the movies.
When it comes to collaborations, one that stands out a little bit more than the rest is obviously Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
And they've got a 4-part Beatles biopic coming up. Have you thought about a biopic for yourself, and who could possibly play Mick Jagger?
I have thought about it and a lot, and the problem is with casting people, if I was doing a biopic, I want the beginning of the getting famous or club world in there. You know, I want to ignore that part.
Right.
And I was only 19, 20. And what happens is they always cast someone 32 playing 19.
While Harry Styles has the moves like Jagger, the star wouldn't be the obvious casting choice if Mick has his way.
I want someone playing me at 20. I want them to be in their 20s, at least in their 20s.
Right, fair
you
enough.
Know?
Yeah.
You know? So it would be a pretty unknown actor. It wouldn't be a big star actor. You know, so it would be someone just on the cusp of being famous
Yeah.
that would play me. Or
And that would
Keith.
have that sort of similar energy of
Well,
when
have
you
to
were
have
on the
that
cusp.
energy, but it's a sort of innocence as well, you know, of the world of show business, of what's going to happen to you. That has to come across, you know, and the madness and fun of it all.
That makes actual perfect sense because there's
It
certain
makes
things that we as viewers we can see and either we believe it or we don't believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that you've definitely put some thought into
No,
that.
I have.
Yeah. When you think this summer, 2026, is new music for the Rolling Stones, does that give you a sense of gratitude or how does that make you feel knowing that you've got new music on the way?
Yeah, it feels good, and we got the World Cup coming, so
Yes.
it's a good year. You know, we're gonna have a track on the World Cup album, which is gonna be a remix of In the Stars.
Amazing.
So we're just finishing that off. So we're looking forward to that, and it's all, you know, I'm looking forward. Summer's a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to come a little earlier, but we wanted to prep it right, so we're just coming for the summer. So I hope it's going to work out.
I think it'll work out
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
time. You're a legend.
Thank you. Nice to speak to you.
Just interviewed Mick Jagger. What a good chat. I mean, he seems excited and curious, still loves making music. I really feel like he's more looking forward to what's next versus looking back. You've heard the term a living legend. Well, Mick Jagger is definitely a legend that is living in full color, living his best life.